This podcast is sponsored by nobody.
Hey dudes, this is Beatrice Bupley, Amanda Kruger in Nightmare on Elm Street 5, and you're listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the Past. Bless you, my naughty son.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming Kevin Vonesper. Kevin is making a documentary about Dukey Flyswatter. If you don't know who Dukey Flyswatter is, he's a very interesting, enigmatic actor and punk musician. He's the lead singer of a band called Haunted Garage. But Fred Olin Ray, another guest of the show, made his career back in the 80s. He casted him in so many movies like Star Slammer, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. David Dakota later casted him in Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bolorama. He co-wrote Jackie Kong's Blood Diner with another guest of mine, Carl Crew. And he was in the immortal Trauma classic, Surf Nazis Must Die. And Kevin, he himself is a triple threat in his own right. He's a musician, actor, and photographer based in New York. And we're going to get into the documentary, The Life and Slimes of Dukey Flyswatter and Haunted Garage, is currently being crowdfunded. And we're going to talk about all of that today. Also, I want to say Happy Memorial Day, and much love to all the people who came before us, who fought for this country. Rest in peace, Ronnie Hawkins. We are fucking losing our idols. Ray Liotta, George Shapiro, Alan White, Vangelis, and now Ronnie Hawkins. It's sad, but it's inevitable in life. You know, Mary Lou is my jam, and it's sad that we lost Ronnie Hawkins, so rest in peace, good sir. So yeah, here is my interview with Kevin Vonesper. Hey Kevin, welcome to the show. How are you today?
How's it going, man?
I am doing pretty good. This is such a great honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, well, thank you. I am honored to be amongst your, the list of guests that you've had on your show is quite impressive, so thank you for having me.
Thank you. I've been working pretty hard the last 5 years, but it's been so rewarding. So going back in time, before we get into Dookie, tell me about your background.
Sure. Well, let's see. I started playing music when I was 11 years old, and then I also became a video professional for the past 15 or so years. I've always played music, but I started doing video professionally and audio kind of work, and I started my company Vonesper Studios officially in 2014, making content for people.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, it kind of wiped out my business because, you know, generally when I do the things that I do, I have to be around people, you know, filming concerts and parties and doing photo shoots and or even recording music. And so it kind of gave me this void to start my own projects, and that's how this documentary started.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can see, you're like a New York answer to Rob Zombie. You're very entrepreneurial and very creative. That is awesome. Did you grow up wanting to be a musician, though?
Yeah, absolutely. That's always like my number one passion in life is playing music and you know, enjoying music. And so whenever I can mix my professional life and my passions in life, you know, that's the goal, really.
Who did you listen to growing up in terms of music?
Well, if you want to go way back, let's see. I guess my first love was like Nirvana when they came out, you know, when I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
I had an older brother, so I kind of of knew what was cool generally. But then after the death of the grunge era, I kind of, in like, say, 93, 94, when I was like 10 years old, I discovered green jelly.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that opened my world up to a whole, there was a whole new world. And then I quickly got into Guar, and then I quickly got into Haunted Garage. So when I was like 11 years old, I had already started the internet's first Haunted Garage fan site. So bands like that I've been listening to for almost 30 years, and that's kind of like,
yeah,
I guess what's led me to all the things that I'm doing now.
Yeah, you're around my age. I remember Green Jelly so well, that Three Little Pigs video when it first aired on MTV. It's a classic.
Yeah, and then of course they were the world's first video only band, so I bought their VHS tape, and of course I didn't know it at the time, but that's the first time I saw Dukey Flyswatter, because he's in the Misadventures of Shitman video.
Oh, I did not know that. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, they were pretty groundbreaking,
Yeah.
Being a video-only band. I mean, that was just so unheard of back then.
Yeah, it didn't last too long because they were in such high demand after the Three Little Pigs came out.
Yeah, and they also did a song for the Flintstones movie too. It was like a kind of a grunge hard rock version of the Flintstones theme.
Yeah, Anarchy in Bedrock.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a cover of the Sex Pistols. Yeah.
Yep. So, when did you first
And of course, I don't know if you know this, but I ended up joining Green Jello later in 2008.
I didn't know that. Wow, that's cool. I mean, so when you joined Green Jelly, I mean, that must have been just amazing that you got to work with your idols. Like, how was that?
It was amazing. It was 2008, and they were going on their first tour since the 90s. They only did one tour for that album before they kind of just laid low as an LA band for 15 years or so. So I met them in New York when I started my own web TV show called Twilight Vision, and I kind of offhand commented to Carrot Top from the Radioactive Chickenheads, if you know them. They're another a band of the same realm, and I said, hey, if you ever need a bass player going on tour, let me know. Yeah. And a couple months later, they said, hey, the next leg of the tour, we're gonna open as the Chickenheads. Do you want to come along? So I kind of jumped on the bus and I joined all the bands, all the costume crazy bands from LA. It was the Radioactive Chickenheads, Rosemary's Billy Goat, and Green Jelly. So I'm Green Jelly member number 237, which seems like a lot, but there's actually over 1,000 of them now. Wow,
that's phenomenal. So when did you first become aware of Dukey Flyswatter?
Yeah. Well, I guess the first time I saw him was, like I said, in that Green Jelly video, but I didn't know who he was at the time. But it was really the internet, early internet, when I was like, hey, if you like Green Jelly and Guar, you'd probably like Haunted Garage. And so I picked up Possession Park, and it was just a love affair since then. So it must have been 1994 or 5 or something like that. And then, of course, I quickly discovered that he had a movie career, so I just started collecting his movies as well, and that brought me into a whole other world of, B movies, and then collecting movies of Fred Olen Ray and David Dakota, and of course the Scream Queens, which I know we're all a big fan of.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's how I first discovered him, from the movies. I didn't even know he was a musician until much later. So when the moment,
right,
when the moment came,
yeah, I think it's the opposite for most people.
Yeah. So when the moment came that you were going to make a documentary about him, Like, how did that happen? Did it coincide with his 2018 brain surgery and then the possibility of losing him?
No, it came later than that, actually. It came during the pandemic when I had nothing to do because my business was, I'd been hustling so hard in New York City as a video guy and a video professional. So I was doing like 2 or 3 jobs a day sometimes, and then suddenly I had nothing to do. So I was like, what can I maybe start working on? And I sent out a bunch of cold emails and see, just to kind of see who would be interested if I started this. And I got a good response. So that's kind of how I started the documentary. It was just like a pandemic project. And then last summer is when I actually flew out to LA to start collecting interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also got, in the meantime, I also had people like Dookie send me their entire archive so I could start digitizing it. So he sent me like 2 giant boxes of tapes, probably like, I don't know, 50 to 100 VHS and cassettes, and even 1 beta tape, which is like, holy shit, going all the way back to 1985.
Yeah. Wow. So he was on board with the idea from the get-go.
Yeah, he was definitely supportive of it, and it was really not his brain surgery so much, although we're so glad that he recovered from that. But just like the pandemic in general, like, oh my God, these guys are old. You never know who's gonna die like at any time.
Yeah.
And luckily, they're pretty much all still with us, and we're willing to participate. So it was like now or never, because some of these guys are in their 70s now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a couple of guys that died during the pandemic that I was supposed to interview, and it's been pretty devastating. But, I guess it's God's will.
Yeah.
So
yeah, same here. None of the main dudes, luckily, but like some of the side characters passed away in that time.
Yeah. So did you meet him right away, or did you talk to him on the phone?
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone, but I had met him in person for the first time in 2008. I had flown out for a Haunted Garage reunion show that they did. It was him and Gabby from the band, and then the rest of Gabby's band at the time, called Virginia City Revival, rounded up the rest of the guys. And I flew out and I went to the show, and Dookie had me over to his house while they were getting ready and like drove me around, and we went to Denny's afterwards and stuff like that. But I had actually been in contact with him much earlier. I actually like invited him to MySpace and stuff like that. So we had been in contact for a long time. But the first time we met was 2008. And so that night, and I can see it on the poster that's on my wall for the show, someone was supposed to start filming a documentary for them that night, and it never happened. So the idea has been in my head since then. I'm like,
Wow.
That's never going to happen. So you know what? I think I am the most qualified person in the world to do this right now.
Yeah. What's he like personality wise? Because I could just imagine him being a very interesting, special guy.
Yeah, he's actually just a really nice dude. Like if you met him now, you would be so unassuming that he's like this crazy guy, shock rock performer, like B-movie star. He just seems like a very nice old grandpa type person,
Yeah.
who likes weird movies.
Yeah. He's had an interesting life, I was reading that he was acting way before he formed Haunted Garage. He's a Chicago guy, right?
No, he's been in LA all his life.
Oh, okay. Because it said that he studied improv with Del Close. Del Close is a Chicago guy, so that's why I thought maybe he was from Chicago.
Oh, yeah, maybe Del Close started in Chicago, but I think he studied with him in LA, and that was probably in the late or mid 70s or something like that. I'm not sure the timeline on that, but I think the first movie that I know that he was part of was actually Big Wednesday, which was in the 70s.
Oh.
He got cut out of it, but he still gets a check from it. And then, of course, Frozen Scream, he co-wrote in the 70s. and then he really started jumping into it in the mid '80s, and I think that started with like movies like The Tomb, and then it kind of just was like a whirlwind from there.
Yeah, Fred really made Dukey's career in terms of
And he also wrote Prison Ship for Fred Olen Ray around that time.
Oh, yes. Yeah, when he met him, he was just, Michael Saunier, and, he's had a huge career since as a cult film figure. What are your favorite of Dukey's movies?
Oh, I'm going to have to say Nightmare Sisters, just because he's so funny in it, and it also has the Haunted Garage soundtrack that I love so much, and it's got all of our beautiful, naked, bloody ladies that I love so much as well. So that's always on the top, and I also love, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers really holds up, and so I'd put those two up on the top.
Yeah, I love Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. I think that movie represents the Sunset Strip in a nutshell in 1988. I love Sorority Babes and Slimeball Bolorama.
Absolutely.
It's the 35th anniversary of Surf Nazis Must Die. That's like the only.
Here's a trick: next time you watch Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, turn off all the color on your TV and watch it as like a noir movie.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Surf Nazis Must Die.
It works really well.
Yeah. Surf Nazis Must Die. That's probably the only trauma movie he did, right?
Yeah, Surf Nazis is the only trauma movie, but he was in a trauma short called Hamburger the Rapist a couple years ago, which Lloyd Kaufman pops in very briefly in, and they definitely didn't meet on set, because I'm pretty sure Lloyd did all his parts from New York, and Dookie filmed all his parts at the CIA in LA. But those are the only two trauma things. And just so everybody knows, Lloyd Kaufman, we will be interviewing him for the documentary. It was supposed to happen last month, but he got COVID, so probably sometime this summer.
Oh, that's awesome that he's going to be in the documentary. So sad about the COVID, though, but yeah, that is cool. Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman is the man. I haven't met him.
Yeah, luckily, he's recovered.
And I didn't realize, too, Dookie co-wrote the Blood Diner.
Yeah, luckily Lloyd's in New York, so I can just drive over to him.
Yeah. So Dookie co-wrote Blood Diner. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he wrote Blood Diner.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I've talked to Carl Crew about that movie.
Yeah, Blood Diner is another classic.
Yeah, and he also played a waiter in The Tomb.
Right, and that's Carl, of course, owns the CIA in LA, and I actually met him for the first time when I was on tour with Green Jelly in 2008. We started our tour at the California Institute of Abnormal Arts, so I was filming, and he's like, "Hey man, you gotta pay for filming here," and I'm like, "Hey, I guess got yelled at from the star of Blood Diner." It was like an honor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So, how far along are you with the crowdfunding for it?
Yeah, he's a fun, kooky dude. Well, I don't know when this is going to be posted, but we have 4 days left as of time of recording, and so get your stickers now. We did it for about 2 months. And it's now at the tail end, and I think after that it's gonna just become like a Dookie Duck store, so you could still get some of the perks, hopefully, and then maybe we'll do another round later in the year, depending on how it goes for me over the summer.
Oh yeah, this will be out later today, but that's cool. Wow, 4 days. So how far along of the goal are you?
Okay, great. 40%. Although I had high ambitions, so I'm very happy with what we did achieve. I had a 10K goal, and we made, so far as of today, we're just shy of 4. I think we're going to make it to at least 4, and I think that's a really great start. Even though I probably put in about that much of my own money so far, but any any bit helps because, it's a DIY, independent, grassroots punk rock project. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for everybody who has been a part of it so far.
So Thursday is the last day?
I think that sounds about right. Yeah, Thursday or Friday, depending on your time zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I have any money by at least Wednesday, I will contribute, and I promise you that.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Well, you're doing your part now by having me on your show anyway. So either way, you're contributing.
My pleasure. Yeah. Do you know who Dinah Cancer is?
Yeah, actually, she sang background vocals at the reunion show that I went to, and while she was singing, they chainsawed me on stage, and it was a high honor because I love 45 Grave, and at the time also Penis Flytrap, which we have another member of Penis Flytrap in our documentary, and I'm hoping to get Dinah in the doc as well, but we haven't gotten her yet, but I have my fingers crossed for that one.
She is a sweetheart, but what I'm going to say is, though, I put her and Dookie in the same category as, the punk community knows who they are, but the rest of the world doesn't. But they just, have that same type of cult following.
Yeah, it's a shame. And, someone should make the 45 Grave documentary one day. They definitely used to do shows back in the day, 45 Grave and Haunted Garage, and then when Penis Flytrap came around, Dookie would come up on stage and sing Party Time with them, and there's a long history between the two.
Yeah, I met her through Jules Shepard at a HorrorCon about 6 years ago, and I thought she was very nice, Dinah. She's a sweetheart. I'd love to get her on the show.
Nice.
Hopefully someday I'll get to interview her.
Yeah, I'm sure she would. She was very nice. Also, I met her in I think 2009 or 10. Again, when I was doing my web TV show called Twilight Vision, the same one I was talking about with interviewing Green Jelly, when they came to New York, when they were doing the revival band, and yeah, she was awesome, and I love all the things that she does.
Yeah, I first found out about this documentary when Beatrice posted it about it on social media, and I was really happy that someone was finally going to make a documentary about Dookie. I was curious, how do you know Beatrice, by the way?
Yeah, Beatrice, I actually have not met in person yet, but she's actually local to me.
Yeah.
She lives around the same town as me. I won't tell you exactly where I am, but she's actually good friends with somebody that I work with. So that person was like, you know that I know, Freddie's mom, you should talk to her. And I'm like, holy shit, yeah, I should. And so we've been virtual friends, and I'm sure we'll meet sooner than later, but she's definitely helped hyped up the project for me, and the horror community all supports each other, and especially locals. I don't think that people know who live around me that we have a local horror celebrity amongst us, because she's unassuming, and I think she just owns a yoga studio. But yeah, Freddie's mom is my neighbor.
I just adore Beatrice. She's been on here twice. I just love how funny she is and just how down to earth she is. I mean, she's a gem, a true gem. So how many interviews have you done for the documentary?
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm at about 44 or 45 almost now.
Mm-hmm.
And more coming, because I'm a completist, and I need to do this correctly as a big fan of myself. So, yeah, it's pretty extensive so far. Besides Dookie being, we did multiple sessions with Dookie, but everyone else, yeah, we have 40 something already. It's nuts. It's a lot to keep track of as an editor, but I accept the challenge.
Nice. Yeah, Michelle Bauer is a good friend of mine, and she told me that her and Brink got to talk with you, right?
Yes, when I was in LA, Brink and Michelle came by as a duo, and we also had Dookie there that day, so they could all bounce off of each other, and it was just an amazing fanboy moment for me, especially because I mean, I just can't believe that you're telling me that Michelle Bauer was talking about me to somebody else. Like, that's like something that the teenage me would never think would happen, and I'm just like freaking out about it. How cool is that, you know?
Yeah.
It was definitely like a highlight of my life, having them all together in the same room, and I had to just like keep my cool and be a professional, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Michelle...
Tried to get Linnea there that day too, but it just didn't work out. So hopefully maybe we'll get her separately.
Yeah. Michelle, she came on here for my anniversary show, and I happened to bring up the documentary because I had heard about it and stuff, and she just clued me in on what she could and stuff, and it was all good. So does Dookie have creative control over the film?
Yeah, she's a gem.
She sure is.
No, it's actually a totally independent project by me. But although I have full support of all the band members and everyone that I've worked with so far, it is actually, I have complete control over it. Okay. But you know, I'm not going to do anybody any wrong. Like, I want to represent everybody well.
Of course.
And even some of the members don't even talk to each other, but they'll talk to me because I'm like an independent third party. And it's been, you know, just a dream to do. And I hope everybody else can feel my excitement for the project and join in on it. And
has he been interviewed yet?
Dookie, yeah. We did several sessions with him. I probably have about 7 or 8 hours of just Dookie. Yeah.
Nice. That is so awesome that you got this project going on. So, the Life and Lives of Dukey Flyswatter and Haunted Garage it's on what Kickstarter platform?
It's on Indiegogo, but I am calling it the Indie Gorgor, of course, in honor of the Haunted Garage Gorgor Girls, which was, of course, inspired by the Herschel Gordon Lewis movie. And I'm calling it the Indie Gorgor campaign, emphasis on the pain. Because, you know, it's all Haunted Garage. So that's an easy way to remember it. But, of course, if you don't want to remember all of that, just go to dookiedoc.com and you'll find everything collected right there. Super simple. I wanted to make it as easy as possible for me and everybody else to find.
That is so awesome, Kevin. I thank you so much for coming on today. I look forward to seeing the project completed and then us talking again. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely come back whenever you want me to. I'm probably going to do another round of press in October in the spooky season, and hopefully I'll have some big updates by then. And yeah, it's an honor. The whole project is an honor. Getting to talk to all the fans and the community is an honor, and it's been very exciting. And thank you so much.
My pleasure. You have yourself a happy Memorial Day, and please be safe out there.
Yes, you too, and go watch a bad movie.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Kevin Vonesper. Ain't he a cool dude? Please excuse the technical delays there, but hey, it went smoothly, didn't it? I mean, it could have been much worse. It was awesome. I can't wait for this project to be completed, as I said, and the world needs to know who Dukey Flyswatter is. He is fucking insane and awesome. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.